Alrighty then.
Are we
Testy McTestington. We're happening. It's all happening, and
Sorry.
we're in the green.
we're happening right
green
now.
bands.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
So you got a big smirk on your face. I can see there because you have just discovered that, unbeknownst to you, for this whole time there have been secret sounds on the soundboard.
It's so true,
Ooh.
and it's not good because.
Well, yeah.
You should just keep
I know
them
that
turned down.
Yeah, I should just keep them turned down. But
oh man,
what do you got on there? Give us a little. Give us something there.
This is bullshit.
Yes, that is.
what else we got?
That's one of your favorites.
Hang on.
Nope.
Oh,
Yep.
I do like that.
That's
one.
going to get a workout.
What's this one here?
Surprise! That's going to get a workout.
Oh man,
They're all going to get a workout.
can you swear now, please?
Crab shit.
We can't be-
You've conditioned me not to. And I don't think crab shit qualifies.
No, it doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Welcome
hilarious.
to episode 13 of Dog Ugly. Is it episode 13?
Yes.
Shit, probably should have checked that before. Can you check?
I think it is.
Can you check?
I think it is. I'll check.
Unorganized. My brain is still like scrambled eggs from...
Yeah, tell us
holiday.
how you went.
Yeah, I got back from Bali with Han on late Saturday night. It is episode 13.
It is,
we have
yeah.
confirmed with the authorities,
Yeah, we are on
with the
episode
commissioner,
13.
and we're on episode 13 of Dog Ugly
Wait,
Dudes Talking Dogs.
Is it 13 or 13?
13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope.
Just picking me apart.
No, because that's... So
You're tearing me apart,
we're going to get
Kahuna.
back to your thing, but
Yeah.
when I first came to this country, I was
Yep.
hearing numbers from an Australian guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he said like 13 or something like that, and I was like, it's not a word. and then he's counted. He's
Yeah.
like 10, 11,
1,
12.
2, 3.
Yeah, 13. And I'm like, oh, right, I get it.
You've sustained brain injuries, haven't you?
But then I realized that was just the accent. I had no
Yeah.
idea when I first came here. I was really green when
I
came to you guys.
apologise on behalf of the
Oh,
Australian
man.
people for that, Big Kahuna.
Oh, 13, mate.
13, mate. That's
Yeah,
me.
But we say it 13.
13.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many pawns do you have?
Oh,
12, 13. Wow, Big Kahuna over there's got 13 pawns. Oh, bet she needs a whole heap of hockey sticks to occupy those pawns.
Oh, good.
Anyways,
Yeah, so you were over in
Bali. Yep.
How'd you go?
Yeah, pretty good, dude.
Dogs over there?
Yeah, there's heaps of dogs, wild dogs that roam the streets. There was a little dog that the people that maintained our sort of villa thing they owned. Her name was Bella. I tried to bond with her. It was not happening. She would not have any of it. Couldn't
None.
even get near her for the whole week I was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Couldn't-
She's only a puppy too.
Afraid?
Yeah, super afraid.
Oh, wow.
And would bark at me would fear bark at a distance.
Jeez.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
Especially when I was like shit hammered off tequila. I'm like, Bella, just come here.
Well,
I don't know about that. I don't know.
How many
Face
drunk
plant.
Australians do you think tried to do that?
Oh, yeah. Way
I'm
too many.
sure you were
But
not
there were
the
a few
first.
dogs that were like real friendly. Like,
Yeah.
they looked disgusting. But there was a really nice looking dog at Echo Beach that we went to. And he was all about the cuds.
Yeah, right.
He just wanted plenty of them, so I gave him plenty of ear tickles. And then he got in a fight with a small puppy.
Oh, good.
It was like, yeah. Because the puppy was trying to get in on... And
On
he's
the
like,
cuddles?
He's like, mate, get bloody out of here. Get out of here, you bloody drongo. Yeah, I'm back now. Oh, yeah, I've got that interesting story about the monkeys.
Yes,
at
tell me
Woodward.
about it.
We will after the intro
All
song.
right.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nice, relaxed one. It's like a John Mayer song or something. It's not by John Mayer, but it sounds like him. Yeah. Episode 13, Dog Ugly Dudes Talking Dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're back from the week we missed last week, and we're here to talk about some stuff. So you guys enjoy. God, I'm getting good at that fade out.
Oh man,
Oh,
so sweet.
it's a tasty little fade.
Yeah, remember how it used to be?
Yeah, so clunky and like,
And we'd be
don't
like,
worry, mate,
okay,
I'll be here.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to. Okay, we'll move this around.
Spent 4 days
Oh
trying to
my
figure out
God.
how to fade things on
Just
Logic
ridiculous.
Pro X. They don't make it easy for a novice like me. But now
Now you're not so much of a novice.
I'm
are
not
you?
so much of a novice.
Just
Yeah.
nailed it. So what are we going to talk about today? We have a few things to talk about.
Yep. We're going to talk about developing drive.
Yes,
in
this comes
dogs.
from.
Yeah, so this is sort of like a it's almost a Big Kahuna's mailbag.
Yeah, but it's such a good topic.
yeah,
we wanted to
it's
talk
a
about it.
good topic that we were going to talk about anyway later on down the track, but we figured, well, someone's asked, and we
must
listened.
deliver.
Yes, we listened to the people that so politely forward in their questions and queries, and we're going to talk about it today
Where is? Oh man, come on.
on the Facey B.
Yes, it was. Oh, sweet Jesus! I think I'm all over it.
That's okay.
I'm over the shop here.
Mm-hmm.
No. Talk about something else.
All right. We'll talk about the monkeys. So, Han's a seasoned Bali vet. She's been to and from Bali ever since she was knee high to a grasshopper.
Did she also go there like for work? Or did she ever?
No, I don't think so.
There?
Yeah, I
No?
don't think so. But one of the things, like, because we were just sitting around the villa one day, and she's like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Don't know, pretty hungover." And she's like, "We could go see the monkeys at Udbud, I think it's called."
Good, yeah.
Udbud, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. And we got told by one of the local guys, well, the guy that sort of maintained the villa, he's like, "Probably not a good idea. I'm not even going to bother to try and do his accent." But he's like, "Yeah, probably not a good idea. Like, there's a few people there that have got the monkeys, and they've trained the monkeys to steal all your shit.
Like what?
So a forced retrieve."
Absolutely. Isn't it?
I'd love to get a monkey to do that.
Yeah. Do you think they do that, or do they have like not even a forced retrieve? It's just like if you bring
me
we're gonna
back
give you
this
whole big stack of
Yeah,
bananas.
stack of bananas.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because I would do that for bananas.
Yeah,
as well.
because I was talking to Han about it, and I was like, they definitely would just find out what motivates the monkey,
Yeah.
and then backwards chain that sort of thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then they're cashing in on all these Ray-Bans and shit. Yeah.
And then selling them for $2 at the next
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. They don't know the value of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Anyways, did you find that thing?
Yeah. So there's
there's just a little bit of a, like, how we can apply dog training into monkey training.
Yeah, it's animal training.
Animal training.
I reckon maybe we should get a monkey and see how we go.
Oh, I'd love to, man.
God.
I would love to.
No, you can't get that stuff here, though, can
Put
you?
a little saddle on Scuba or Joe, and just
Arrow with a monkey
with a
riding
monkey on his back, dude. That would be unreal. Oh, with like Flight of the Valkyries, like in the background. I don't even know what the tune to that is anymore.
Well, it's
like
probably not this.
It's definitely not Canadian stripper music.
So this was from Jamie Richens.
Jamie Richens.
She was, yeah.
Thank you, Jamie.
Double clap.
Oh. There we go.
So she was basically what she said. She's wondering if we were planning on talking about building drives, and in particular, food and play drives. Now, that for me is, I'm excited for you to talk about this because you spent a lot of time listening to some other trainers that you're close with talking about these different types of drives.
Yep.
And how they work and how they can be built and all that. So I want to hear what you have to say about it so that I can form my opinion as well.
Yeah, well, I'm not really good at articulating. I'm not as good as you. I know what I'm talking about in my brain, so I'll do my best.
And I'll ask questions.
To explain it to people. But so basically what she's asked, she wants to sort of increase her dog's drive for food and a game, like a ball or a tug or what?
Yes. Now, this is where I'm going to be interested in it because
we can talk about this for hours,
Absolutely.
man.
Because what I think of when I think of increasing drive for a ball or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, food is one thing. Increasing the drive for the food is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But increasing the drive for a ball, to me, it depends on how you're. Like, to me, that's you're increasing their prey drive, not play drive.
Yeah.
So, or like depending on what part of the thing you're
I was
increasing.
having a discussion with my good mate Paul this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and he puts play drive and pack drive under the same sort of heading,
Right.
and I'm of the same opinion. So play drive or pack drive is when the dog definitely knows that you're taking part in it. So it's a lot less serious. It can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a tug and you're staring face to face with the dog, okay?
Yes.
And the dog is interacting and like he's tugging it off you and you might let him win it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Same with like if the dog knows that you've got the ball
Mm-hmm.
and you're throwing it, like the dog knows that comes from you.
Yes.
All right? So in my opinion, and there'll be people out there that'll be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is
bullshit.
That's what they'll be like.
Don't get upset.
Yeah, don't get upset.
This is bullshit.
Okay. But yeah, so, and I've noticed it, and there is a definite distinct difference to when a dog is hunting to when he knows that you have the option to play a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, before I'm going to ask you this question because it directly relates to that. Because I do fully agree in this hunt drive.
Yes.
So hunting
Mm-hmm.
and play
Yep.
are I can fully get on board with that. Two different things.
Two different
So-
things.
But what about prey drive? The
Yeah.
chase of something that just moves quickly,
Yep.
right? So the fact that something moves quickly and a dog instinctually chases it.
Yeah, to increase that
You-
could be debated
That
a
you
lot of different ways.
can or can't.
That you can or can't.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So you can increase the play drive by making the game more fun.
Yep.
The hunt drive is sort of another one of those things where
A lot of people argue that the dogs are born with natural hunt drive, and that
Mm-hmm.
is true. And a lot of people say that a lot of dogs don't have it. And I've seen that as well. And it's very, very difficult to develop hunt drive. But what Jamie's asking, I'm pretty sure, and we'll focus on that solely in a minute, so don't get confused. Anybody out there, we're not strictly talking, but loosely talking about different types of drive and how they manifest themselves and what they sort of look like. Now, let's talk about hunt drive in the way of a wolf. Let's go back to the wolves. So when they're hungry and they've got a ton of prey drive anyway,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so they see something that's an opportunistic target to go and chase, capture, kill. Okay, so how do I explain this?
So they need to do that to survive.
Yeah, they need to do it to survive, and
Yeah.
they have a naturally good level of it. And a lot of dogs, especially hunting dogs, have a lot of really good hunt drive. A lot of sporting dogs do as well, like Malinois, Shepherds. Like Arrow's got good hunt drive. If he knows something's out there, some people call it sustained search motivation.
Right.
Okay, you and I both know somebody that term hunt drive as sustained search motivation.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
That is how long they're prepared to stay actively looking for something until they find it.
Right.
Okay. How long their mind is going to be engaged in that process.
Right. Which is the hunting process. So then that we're just coining that the hunt drive, but it's also search motivation essentially.
Yes, search motivation.
Right.
And sustained search motivation. We hear it a lot
Yes.
with police dogs and stuff
Absolutely.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I call it hunt drive,
Right.
you know, because it is what it is in its most purest form. The dog's
Yes.
looking for something.
Right.
All right. And some argue that, well, I would argue that my dogs get positive reinforcement out of just doing that. And they might be able to do that for 15 minutes. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not satisfied that there's anything here. Put the dog away.
Right.
Okay.
And they're happy with
And
that
they're
because
happy.
they got to go
They're
for a hunt.
not as happy because they know what comes at the end of a successful hunt.
But would you put it in the same category as someone who likes to hunt as a human, and they go out into the bush and they come back and they haven't got a deer?
It's everything that's involved in it.
Yeah.
It's problem solving for the dog. It's piecing together fresh odors, old odors, tracks, like all this stuff. You know, and unless you've seen that and you understand what it is, then you're probably not going to understand straight up. But,
yes, and I've seen it in your dogs, and it is
the highest I've seen. But they're terriers, and it's been bred into them. For,
So they're highly
generations.
Their genetics in that area are very, very, very good.
Yeah.
But okay, so we've got that. We've got hunt drive. So that's the dog's motivation to specifically look for things.
Yep.
So that's a separate thing to what we're talking about with the play drive. So play drive is something that, let's say in a wolf
play
pack,
drive or pack drive,
play drive is pack. So I'm going to use both terms.
So it might be two dogs.
Let's call them the same term.
Yeah,
play drive and pack drive are the same
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like two dogs, having a tug of war, or you're doing it with the dog.
Yes.
Okay. So now a lot of this relates to. So a lot of different people train scent detection dogs a different way. Mm-hmm. Okay. In the old days, it used to be you'd con the dog into getting it to hunt for something, and then it didn't know that you were delivering the reward.
Right.
So you're tapping into that natural hunt drive and the hunt desire, and then it's being rewarded without it knowing that you have rewarded the dog.
Right.
Okay. But what a lot of people do now is they'll put it on a cue. So the dog knows that at the end of when it finds target odor, then it's going to get to play the game with you, or you will chuck it something.
Right.
Okay. So there's a distinct difference there.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the dog thinks it's finding essentially the prey, which is the object that they're going to play with at the end, or they're
and satiate themselves that way.
Yeah.
Or
they're given a cue, and they know that cue means I need to find this odor, which means I will get this game, but that the game is actually a play drive game.
Yes.
Instead of a hunt game.
Yep. And mate, where we went and cut our teeth and learnt dog stuff for ages, he would argue that this is completely irrelevant what we're talking about. Right. But I've gone and done.
We're gonna have to get him on here.
Yeah, I know, but he would tell me that I'm stupid and it's outdated, but it's how I understand it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And there will be people out there listening that are like, well, nah, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yes.
But I've seen working in sporting dogs in, say, a police and military context, and then I've seen working dogs hunt.
Yes.
Okay. Now they sort of overlap each other.
Right.
But a lot of times when we're talking, and the scent detection one is a good way to, and if you're not across scent detection, don't panic. Don't worry. We'll talk about it one day, but it's a way for me to explain it to you because you understand what I'm talking about now.
Yes.
And there will be people out there that also understand as well. There is a huge difference between you rewarding your dog and your dog understanding it in his head or her head that the reward is coming from you, whether that is food or whether that is a prey game with the ball or a tug or whatever, to the dog actively seeking it out, tapping into all its natural traits and behaviors
without any cues or triggers.
Exactly.
Just
I don't cue it, man.
Yeah.
So, well, I do in a way. I put a vest on him.
Right. And then they know that there's prey out there.
But even so, even if I didn't put his vest on, he's smelling things from the time that we're there.
And you go to places where these are the things that you're going to find in these places. So he's got a high likelihood of finding them.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got I like the breakdown that you've got there. So the hunt drive is the dog doesn't know that you're involved.
Yep.
And then the play drive or pack drive is when you are involved and they know you're involved and you're part of the reward.
Yep.
Now, whether or not the argument of whether or not one is better than the other, we don't need
it's
to
irrelevant.
Talk about it. It's irrelevant. So,
because you could have a Malinois, and so say in search and rescue, excuse me, a lot of what they do, especially with the really high drive Malinois or a lab, is at the end of it, that's how we train Tex.
Yes.
Tex knew that he was a spaniel, by the way, a year today since he went. I told you that before.
Yeah.
He's been with the South Australian Urban Search and Rescue a year today with his fantastic handler, Mandy. Let's give Mandy a little clap there. Thank you, Mandy.
Good work, Mandy.
But yeah, he knew at the end. So All he had to do was find target odor, which was a helper or a decoy that was hidden somewhere playing, knocked out person that's, stranded and lost, and that's why we're searching for them.
Yes, absolutely.
He would indicate by barking, and then that behavior would be terminated by us throwing a ball.
Right.
Or the helper throwing a ball.
Right.
Okay, so he knows that at the end of it, it's a play game.
Right.
And for the most part, early on, like it was still early days when we got rid of it. He was only just over 12 months, so he still had a lot of maturing to do. But he knew that was the deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was happy to work for
exactly. It. Ironically, the only time I'd ever seen him do this, because I sort of like, I restricted what he did. But a springer naturally springs stuff.
Right.
And I only saw this when I was driving to South Australia and we pulled up on the side of the road and there's these big, long bits of grass. Like, I just took him out to go to the toilet. And I was like, I'm just going to let him go. And he had his Kong and we were playing a little game of tug. Okay?
Yep.
So that's that play game.
Yep.
The
play
he's
drive,
having a good
pack
time.
drive.
And then he's like, long grass. Natural instinct. And then I just saw him like, I got a video of it. Him like leaping like a dolphin in the waves, springing birds out.
Yeah,
and that tapped into something completely different, man.
Right.
Which is that hunt drive that I didn't know at the time. Like, I was like, springer, like, but we've never done that before.
Right, yeah.
But to him, like, and everything went out the window then.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing.
He knew exactly, and that's what he's like, all right, now, and I saw him actively using his nose.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm just going to, I stayed there for about half an hour watching him do this.
So basically if you can tap into that for the searching, then you have a more sustained search motivation.
Exactly. Some dogs, and mate, if we had been, he would have been a fantastic dog for springing birds from bushes.
Yes, yeah.
Because he had a ton of energy, and I just never put two and two together that, which me being naive and
but you were training for something different anyways.
Yeah. So I was like, and that was a real eye-opener, and I was like, holy shit, I've got to learn a lot more about this stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah, and now you know a lot more about it than I do in those different drives.
No, I wouldn't say a lot more of it, but more. No. But you take, and the same goes for like a Malinois or a Labrador.
Turn that back up.
Turn what up? Oh, sorry. There you go. What do you got?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
I'm fading you out. But yeah, so, and that's just, like in any search and rescue sort of scenario, a lot of people do it with the food reward.
Right.
So Tex has since gone from, and this is a good example. Tex is probably a great example for this because he had naturally good desire to play and have a good time, but now Mandy has switched him from a play game at the end to being rewarded with food at the end.
Okay, yes.
So we'll talk about that in a second as well. But I was talking about the Malinois and stuff. They're going to have good natural hunt drive and sustained search motivation to find that play game anyway at the end.
Right, because they love
it so much.
Yes.
They love it so much.
Which leads us to the question.
And if you've got a dog that will do that and will search, like,
then who cares?
Then who cares?
What the reward is,
who cares what it's called at the end, or who cares what it is? But in terms of what I have out there in the kennels, like, there's a reward hierarchy in place.
And for them, the actual hunt
and I established that with Tex. I found out, I was like, his favorite thing is baby Kong.
Yeah,
like his little tiny Kong on a rope.
Right.
That was what he got rewarded with a lot of the time, and then that went out the window when he got to springing birds and stuff.
Yes, yes, right. Okay, well then, if we want to build play drive, so the games that we play with our dogs, so that we can use them for a reward. Yep. So that we then, so let's say a Malinois. Let's put Malinois at the top of the list of. Yep. I'm
not sure what kind of dog Jamie has.
No. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. But let's say that Malinois have a really high play drive. Yep. Which is that game with a person. Yeah. Which we know they do. Yep. So let's put them up really high. Mm-hmm. Now we have a dog that doesn't have quite as high of a level of that, and we want to build it up. So we want to make the games more fun for the dog, so that when we ask them to do something, they're more willing to do it. Yep. Right. Now,
has to be positive as well.
Yes.
So we're going to, like, no corrections, nothing.
Yes.
If you're trying to build drive, you can't be trying to do two things at once. It's got to be solely focused on the dog winning.
Yes. And one of the things that this is a big, big, big one. So picking your criteria of what you want. If you want your dog to play more intensely with a toy,
yep,
and then when they play more intensely, you correct them for it because they then accidentally bit you on the finger,
yep,
forget it.
Yeah, forget it.
Just, you're going to have to take your licks
Yep,
in this stuff. So let's say you're playing with a tug, and the dog gets really, really excited.
And overshoots and nips you on the knuckles.
That is not the time to then say,
correct,
don't do that.
Yep.
If that's what you're trying to build and you're trying to say, I want you to do more of this, well then when the dog gives you more, you need to reward it more. You don't need to stop them up at that moment.
Yep.
So that's a very important thing to think about when you're doing this, and think about the consequences of this.
Yep.
Right? So when you start amping your dog up and building up their arousal level during play, the more their arousal level goes up, the less they're going to be capable of controlling themselves.
That's right.
So get it to whatever you need, and the more the better as far as a valuable reward for the dog. But once you get to a certain point, the dog might be almost out of control, right?
Yeah.
And for example, with Arrow, when I pull a ball out, he is nearly out of control.
Yeah,
because
he's got the full body.
Yeah, he just
shakes.
goes mental, you know? And that's because I built that up and built it up, and I did not suppress it at all. And when he came and jumped and ran into me to try and get it from me and stuff like that, I would run around more with it and try and keep it away from him.
Exactly, and you're making heaps of noises.
Yes.
And it's like he's won the lottery.
Yes.
You know?
So one of the ways... so now that I know the definition of what we mean by play drive, I do know ways that I build that without even knowing the terms. So if I'm trying to build that in a dog...
Yep.
What I'm doing is, let's say I want them to play more with a tug or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm constantly doing lots of little tiny movements and not letting them get it very, very easily at all.
Yep.
So building up the anticipation for it.
Exactly, because that frustration.
That's right.
And then the eventual win after they've built that frustration. Instead of just giving the dog, because there's nothing fun about that.
Yes. The dog needs to have to try and get to it.
Exert energy and go through a little bit of struggle to make it worth his while.
And then they get that win at the end, and then they win it.
Yep. That's right.
So then, let's say it's a tug game. You let them take it away from you. You know,
well, think about it in sort of, and this may not be a really good analogy, but you think about it in a human sort of psychology context. If you're standing there for like 100-meter sprint or something, and the reward at the end is that like gold medal or the ribbon or whatever, and then they're like, no, we're not going to have the race now, but each of you get like a blue ribbon or a gold medal. And it's like, well...
Yeah, that's not really what I wanted.
That's not really what I like. I wanted to win it. Yeah. And same with the dogs.
I don't think that's a bad analogy. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It helps me consider it that way.
Because it's like, well, that was a bit empty.
Yes.
Like,
you want to build it up.
Yeah. What's the purpose?
The other thing with that is you do want to build it up like that, but you also have to make sure that the dog stays engaged.
Exactly.
So the first one that you ever do, don't make the dog work for 10 minutes and they get one little tiny reward. You know, build it up and build it up and build it up.
Han's mum's dogs. She's got 2 little spoodles. And when Benny was the only dog on the scene in the house, I was like, because Kaz goes to and from LA and San Fran and stuff, and she gets all these awesome dog toys from America.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, I'm going to teach this dog to I'm going to build up his motivation to have a play game with me and then other people on the couch. And now it's at a point, I conditioned the head thrash.
Yes.
It's really funny. It's like this little orange caramel colored spoodle that just thrashes the shit. People on the other end, their arms going like this and stuff. But because it was at the start, he didn't even really want to hold onto it because he was really soft mouth. So I'd just take what I could get and then let him have the win. And then he'd do the little run around lap.
Yes.
And then he'd try and run it past me, and then I'd grab it again. And then he's like, oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And grab it and then he wins it again.
Yes.
And then it's those little bits at a time.
I am going to point out something that you said there that's going to be very important for people. Don't make your play game a chase game. Get the dog to bring the reward back to you and play the games with you, or else
Great point.
Right?
Great point, man. A lot of people think that their dog's just going to naturally retrieve.
No.
Yeah, you throw the ball, and then they might mouth the ball and leave it there.
Yes.
That's why you have to do it like maybe ball on a string or something.
Yes.
You know, or yeah, exactly. Bring it back to me.
Yes.
Like
so
to get the game out of it.
The game only comes from you. So if you're holding the thing and you tug and play the game, and then the dog takes it away, don't follow them. Don't try and get it back
because they're going to chase like they are going to thrive off being chased.
Absolutely.
Scuba thrives off being chased when he takes something off Joe.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've seen that.
Yeah.
And it's annoying for Joe. He loses his shit.
And he doesn't know this dog psychology, so he's like I'm
going to chase him. I'm going to chase him. And then Scoobs is like doing little spins like real quick like, "Oh, you're going to get me? You're going to get me?"
So funny.
Yeah.
But they do enjoy that chase game, but it's not valuable in our training.
No.
So if we want to use play games as rewards, the game must come from us.
Yes.
So that way you can use it for your recalls and things like that, where when you call the dog back to you, you can give them the reward, and they don't associate the game with anything other than being close to you. So the reward is to come back, you know?
Yeah, I misinterpreted what you meant by chase game. So I thought you were talking about throw the ball, dog goes and gets it. And because a lot of people I've met along the way.
I'm glad you're clarifying this because someone else might have thought the same thing.
I've met a lot of people along the journey that are like, it's a dog, so it should chase the ball and bring it back.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nope. I don't know how many dogs I've taught to chase the ball by by back chaining, giving me the ball for a treat because they don't care at all
about the ball.
It's nothing.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah. So what I do in that situation is I'll put the ball in front of the dog, let them mouth it for a second, take it back, and then give them a treat.
Yep.
And then I do that.
You're backwards chaining a really positive version of a forced retrieve.
That's right. And then I throw the ball just a little bit, and then when they bring it to me, I trade them for a treat. Right? They are not doing it for any reason other than that it's going to get them a treat at the end. You know,
man, that's awesome. That's really good. You know, and a lot of old school people, I think we've spoken about this before, but they train the forced retrieve, and it's all negative reinforcement.
Yes.
So like they'll put a gardening glove on, have the dog on a table on a tie out, and then they'll force their hand into the dog's mouth, and some dogs they just struggle for minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's so aversive and so uncomfortable. And then eventually like the dog will stop, and then they get it and they say hold. And I'm like, how's a dog learning?
They're learning through the wrong mechanism.
And so it's like when
exactly.
So like, and then they'll cast the dog out to go and get that thing.
Yeah, and the dog knows I need to get that and get it back to you as quickly
because
as
then
possible.
they've chained it. Then they've chained it. They've paired it with the e-collar. So it's like if you don't get on your bike, get out there and do that. Like Stim's going to be
coming on. Yes,
and these aren't people that like these are old school trainers, man.
Yeah, there's no need to
do that. No. And like you're giving people that use e-collars like a real bad name.
Yeah, it is. And you know,
and that's
if you really
it's off topic, but I wanted to talk about.
But if you want to clean something up, you can do something like that. But that's not how you teach a dog to do something.
No,
you know, that's just crazy.
That's right.
And
I never once used negative reinforcement or punishment for Scoobs for his retrieve.
No, that's right.
And you've seen like,
and what I've noticed with the dogs that I do teach that way, they then start to enjoy chasing the ball.
Yes.
So then
because
that
it's anticipation, man.
And that becomes the reward.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to give them the treats anymore.
That's right.
You know, so it picks itself up, and then they start loving chasing the ball. It's amazing how many times I've done that with clients. You know?
Yeah.
And then they use that as a reward instead of having to use treats.
Imagine that. Imagine you got like a little kid, like two separate little kids that you're like, all right, if you go over there and you get me my glasses case, I'm going to give you a Skittle because I love Skittles.
I do like a nice Skittle.
And then there's the other kid, and it's like, get over there.
Depends on which color. Is it green or is it orange?
He or she gets to pick.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They get to pick.
That's fantastic.
I should say. But and then on the other hand, there's the other child that is being threatened. I don't know, physically or something.
Go get it,
or else.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You could probably do that with negative.
You could do it, but are the kids going to enjoy doing it?
No, they're going to be anxious and like shit.
Yes.
Go do this instead of like, I'm going to get myself a Skittle. Yeah. Big old tasty Skittly. You're
I
going to taste the rainbow.
Do it for one Skittle.
No.
Maybe.
You build them up.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. What were we? So if we want to talk about building food drive, then
Yes.
To me, this one's pretty simple because dogs, like, they have to eat. They're not robots. So, and I understand.
So true, Josh.
Yeah.
So true.
So true. Yeah. And I understand, surprise. I need to turn it up. Tell me. There you go. Do it again.
No, it's too late.
No, it's too late.
It's ruined it.
But, yeah. And I remember the first time someone told me this. They're like, if you want your dog to work better for food, then just don't feed them until it comes time for work. And for a lot of people, that's a hard thing to comprehend because it's like, well, I'm being cruel by not feeding them. Well, not really. Your dog has to, like, if your dog lived in the wild, it'd have to work for its food.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's going to die.
Absolutely, yeah.
And in a household environment like this, if you want your dog to be, well, first and foremost, it depends what you're giving the dog as a food reward as well. We'll talk about Texas in a second. But, yeah, you can not starve the dog, but withhold food.
There's a few good things for this.
All right, go.
So I really like this idea, but what I do for clients that are doing this as a way to get their dog more motivated, and motivation is the key word.
Motivation.
There. Yeah,
that's what it is.
So either you use higher value rewards or the dog is more hungry. So now what I do is, let's say the dog is getting this type of diet, right? Mm-hmm. And it's got raw chicken, raw this, and blah, blah, blah. And they're getting all these beautiful things in the morning, and they're getting it at night, and they're loving life, and they don't have to worry about their food.
Why would they have any motivation to?
Why, exactly. Yeah. Why would they want
Why would they want to? Because they know it's coming.
That's right. So what I do is I get my clients they'll give their dog a small amount of dry in the morning and night. Mm-hmm. And if they want the better stuff,
you got to work.
They work for it.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's a really good way to have that nice even balance.
Yeah. So now you don't have to have a dog that's starving and they only get fed when they're working, but they only get the good stuff when they're working. Mm-hmm. Right. And that really makes them work hard for it.
Yep.
And they're no longer going to get it from any other source except from you, and it builds your bond with them, and they go, oh, it's no longer in that bowl. Who cares? But because I can do these things and get it, Yep. They're not stressed out about that.
No.
And they can still eat if they're hungry.
Yep.
They're just not going to get the most tasty things.
Exactly, mate. And I really guess that it depends on where your dog is at in terms of their natural desire for, like, and to be motivated by food anyway. Because you take like a lab, that'll work for, like, a good lab. Mm-hmm. Will work for food. Oh, it'll work for, like, a play game.
Yeah. Or
it'll hunt all day.
Yeah.
Or a cuddle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so good at it. But
I had a dog the other day. Oh, go ahead. Finish that. No,
like,
you go.
They could have, like, a little bit of kibble.
Yep.
That isn't really that high on their reward hierarchy, but they'll still do stuff for it.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh my God, like, I'm going to get this food. So they have a really pronounced, like, food drive. It depends where your dog is on that pecking order.
Yes, absolutely. And this leads me to this dog that I had the other day. So, I don't know how you guys say it over here, but I say Maremma. Maremma.
Yep.
So, I had a Maremma at my house the other day.
Yep.
For a week.
Okay.
And this dog had zero
food drive.
Like, none.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get him to take a piece of cheese from me, a piece of meat from me, nothing.
Really?
To get him to eat, I had to take frozen chicken necks.
Yeah.
Put them in a pan for a couple of seconds just to get him, like, the
odor,
outside warmed. And then I would put him in his bowl, leave him alone.
Yeah,
so with nothing else to do at all.
Yep.
And no one around and nothing else happening. And then after a little bit, he would go over and start eating.
Wow.
He did not care about food at all.
Yeah.
But he would work for a cuddle.
Wow.
Hardcore. Loved a cuddle. Absolutely loved it.
I wish you could see my face right now because it's just, like, perplexed.
It was like something I hadn't seen before.
Wow,
right?
dude.
So what I was doing with that dog was I was using like guiding techniques in order to get him to do drops and sits and stuff like that, but then rewarding him with huge cuddles.
Yeah.
Right. And like, really, really rough, fun cuddle type stuff. So I would call that sort of a play drive type thing where he would get all excited and get a nice cuddle from me. But that was how he learned. He did not care about food at all.
That's so interesting, man. I wonder if that's like a breed trait.
I suspect it is.
Because those dogs are flock guardians.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Which is funny because our breed of the week this week is also a flock guardian.
A flock guardian.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I should have probably...
And you're doing it this week, aren't you?
Kind of.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to talk about what I know.
My brain's not working. But, mate, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
So, and it just like, as soon as you said, I was like, interesting.
Yes.
Because oftentimes they're left in charge of guarding, say it could be huge amounts of chickens or like aviary sort of poultry stuff.
They're in that movie with the penguins.
Oddball. Yeah. They, where was that? Mildura? No, I don't know. Warrnambool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The little fairy penguins on that island that were being decimated by the feral foxes.
Yeah.
And then they put Oddball over there. And
he smoked those foxes.
I don't know if he smoked them, but he definitely
scared them off.
And I think
they didn't show the
population
just smashing.
Yeah. Just like beating the shit.
They're serious. They're very serious dogs. If you're looking at ever getting one.
Well, mate. So Jamie and I, Big Jamie. Shout out to Big Jamie. Well, he's
not Jamie who asked the question.
No, not Jamie. Big JP. One day we had to go to a mate of his, and because they had this big metal press thing there, when I was getting the kennel made in the back of my car, and he's like, "Oh, this bloke's got a couple of big white dogs that guard his chickens." I was like, "What?" Yeah, and we went there because it's a chicken farm, like an all organic chicken farm out near Yarra Junction.
Yep.
And I was like, "Holy shit, Marama sheepdogs actually doing what they're supposed to do."
Yeah.
And I was like, he has a shitload of chickens here, and foxes in that area are prominent.
Yeah.
So they must do some sort of job. And I asked him, I was like, "How do you go, like, with the foxes and stuff?" And he's like, "Dogs kill it. Like they don't kill the foxes. I don't think. I think they probably would if they got close enough. Got a hold of them, yeah, but like he's like, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
He has like a male with a younger female or an older female with like a young pup.
Yeah. And
it's crazy.
They're
shit,
awesome
man.
Dogs.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there chilling. Chickens are on their backs.
Yeah.
Like
I was watching
plucking their fur.
I was watching a documentary on them, and there was some people that were like, it was like a hiking trail that went through areas where there were sheep. It might have been in the UK somewhere. And they had these maramas there. Bloody hell. And the signs and everything said, if the dogs are barking at you, do not approach. Like they will attack you.
Yeah.
And so when you went through that area, you had to try and, like, if the dogs wouldn't let you through, you were not going.
You're not going.
That was it. And that's what they're like.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that they are serious dogs.
Very serious. But they don't look it. They look
they look
big
like
golden
a
retrievers
golden retriever
that are white. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watched another thing on them because I was so intrigued. And you see them up with the family, like they're hanging out at the house, and the sheep are out in the field. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like they could be eating, they could be doing anything. And as soon as they sense that there's something out there, their heads pop up and they're gone.
That's amazing, man.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. And they just take off out into the field and take care of business. Yeah. It's crazy.
Amazing.
Absolutely fantastic dogs.
Yeah.
But that's a dog that was, I'm assuming, bred to not care about food.
Well, you'd think. Like, because a lot of dogs, if they got hungry, they'd just kill a chicken or whatever they're guarding. So they get their food when they get their food, and they're happy with that, basically. Yeah. But then, like, to work for, you think that, because I spoke to that guy, and I was like, what are they like around? And he's like, well, I don't really have much to do with them. It's like set and forget. I'll feed them every day. Yeah. But like, they don't come up to me and want heaps of attention or anything. Like, their sole focus is like making sure the chickens are all good. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is amazing to think that a dog is that focused on keeping chickens safe, Yeah. Whereas I go to clients where the dog's eating the chickens, It's like, yeah. Goes totally against what you'd think, but it's just how they're raised. Crazy, hey? Yeah. Anyway. That's selective breeding. But, so that's the play drive
part of it and the food drive part of it. I hope that answers Jamie's question.
Yeah,
if it doesn't, let
us know and
let us know and tell us that we're stupid.
Because I don't know what kind of dog that Jamie has, and where it's at, like in terms of like its play drive and food drive already.
I'm not going to stalk her or anything, but her photo has a dog on it, which has got.
Oh, he's a pretty big. What is that?
He's a big.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
It's almost like a black Anatolian shepherd sort of deal. It's got that curly tail at the end.
Let us know what.
Let us know what we're gazing upon there.
I'm not the master of breeds.
Neither am I. Because I'm pretty sure that where do we know where Jamie's from?
She's from. No.
Nope.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Nope. That's it.
Cool.
And I'm not going to stalk her Facebook page. It's just too weird.
Yeah.
So, we don't know where she's from. Let us know where you're from as well. Obviously, dog you've got.
Yeah, obviously an English-speaking nation.
Yes.
Because she can decipher.
Unless she used Google
my
Translate.
Drongo slang, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I guess
in Google Translate, Drongo slang.
Oh, God. Okay, so I think that is going to cover that topic. Now, what else we've got?
We got breed of the week.
Yes, we do.
You ready? Ready to party?
Yeah, we're ready to party.
I don't know what breed that it could be. Maybe a whippet or a small pigeon freeze.
Where's the dog barks?
Go round, you will see.
Yeah.
It's time for breed of the week. I don't know what breed that it could be. Maybe a Labrador or a Basenji. But if you stick around, you will see. 'Cause it's time for breed of the week.
Oh yeah, you sneak that last one in there. Bloody oath. All right. So this is the first time that Big Kahuna will be doing breed of the week.
I do not like that I'm doing breed of the week.
Why?
I'm only going to.
I like it.
No, I think you should do this reading.
You're really good at. Oh, I remember why you don't like reading. Yeah, pass it in. Because you can't retain the information.
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
Let me do it.
No,
give it to me.
Hang on, just wait.
'Cause my phone's up there on the thingy-majiggy.
Yeah, I know where your phone is.
Is that where it is? Oh, yeah. Okay.
But
so, what is it this week, though?
It's a Caucasian Shepherd.
Oh, let's get some there.
Yeah. So these dogs are. I don't know a lot about these dogs at all.
Big boppers.
A friend of mine, a friend of yours as well. Well, you know her reasonably well. She used to come to Task 9, yeah.
Yep.
And she's just getting one of these as a pup, so she'll have it like next week or something like that. So we're gonna post a photo of the puppies up, and a couple of photos of the full size breed. You know,
what it's supposed to look like.
Supposed to look like and everything.
Here's one that was prepared earlier, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But I went to see these dogs and these puppies.
Yeah, you said they were enormous.
They're so big.
Massive, yeah.
They're so big. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
The biggest female pup came out at 7 point something kilos.
How much?
7 kilos. How big is bloody Joe Dog?
Oh, Joey'd be 10.
10.
Holy.
Yeah. And
he's a muscle-bound little
demon.
Oh.
Yeah. So these things are massive. Okay. They're supposed to be a flock guardian, and they
do pretty good at it.
A serious flock guardian dog. So you can go through that a little bit, but the first, like from what research I did on them, they come from Russia, and they're used up in the mountains in Russia.
Okay.
And that's where this guy got his stock from, actually. So he got him from like the proper things.
Wow.
And they don't let anybody in and around the house.
These dogs.
Yeah. They've got extra large canines as well. So they've got oversized canines because they
sounds terrifying.
Like anything that goes on in the Russian mountains, it's full on. right?
Big old bears and
bears
stuff.
and wolves is what they're fighting off, and they actually will properly fight a bear or a wolf. Like, that is crazy, is it not? And I was also looking at some of the things they do. They put these metal things around their neck to protect the dog's neck when it's fighting a bear. Like, it's a metal thing that has spikes on it, so that if the bear grabs them, they can't get a hold of their neck.
Holy shit!
That is what's going on in Russia. Like,
here you go, dog. You can have this beautiful color. It is a lot of spike on.
It's crazy. Absolutely friggin' crazy.
You stay here, God house. I must put microwave dinner in.
And the guy that I was watching a documentary on it, and he said, if you they don't do anything with them at all. They leave the dogs up there with the whatever stock they're guarding.
Yep.
And every once in a while they'll go up to a certain spot and drop food.
That's it.
And that's it.
Can they get in there?
I'm sure they probably can,
only with
but
a
they
death
don't.
wish.
They don't care. Like, the dog is there for a job. They do their job. Very similar to the Maramas.
Yeah.
But way more intense, way more fun.
Oh.
And if you've ever seen, they have these dogs doing bite work.
Yeah. I've seen one ripping the door off, like ripping the bars off a kennel.
Yeah. That's what they do. They're savages.
Like a reinforced, like welded, like it looks like a prison door, and it's just ripping the bars off it.
Yes.
I was like, nope.
Somebody, like, if you're out there, Google Caucasian Shepherd doing bite work, and
they snap your arm like a toothpick.
Yeah, they grab the guy's, like, the sleeve and just, like, it's like being attacked by a lion.
Yeah,
it's seriously ridiculous. Yeah. So, anyways, that's what I know about them. But you can tell me if there's anything in particular.
I am going to read a few paragraphs of this from cowdca.org. It's a website, and they've done a very comprehensive job of providing a lot of good information about the Caucasian Shepherd. All right. So located between the Black Sea on the west and the Caspian Sea on the east, the Kavkaz Caucasus mountain range of Eastern Europe represents a true melting pot of various cultures due to a number of nations calling it their home through the ages. Today, these influences are still strong and a rich source of cultural wealth of the region, as well as numerous political conflicts. That doesn't make sense. Encompassing the territories of Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Kabardino-Balkaria, Dagestan, Ossetia, Turkey, Chechnya, Ingushetia, and Iran. The Caucasus Mountains are also home to one of the oldest living molosses, which is a type of dog. That's what a lot of people call different. The magnificent Caucasian Shepherd dog. In reality, the term Caucasian dog should stand for a group of breeds and not for a single breed or a favored variant.
That's interesting.
Okay.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
So the Caucasian Shepherd could be any number of shepherd dogs that live in those mountains?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, well, see.
But they've standardized it now.
See, I would never have gotten that out of this if I had to read it.
Well, I'm glad I'm doing it. All right, next paragraph. There is a great variety of types among the Caucasian dogs depending on their home region, but due to the lack of breed-specific knowledge from many Westerners and the strong national appetite of Russian and pro-Russian dog fanciers worldwide, a single type bearing a misleading name is being favoured in the show rings and literature at the expense of truth and other breed variants. The exotic-sounding misnomer of Shaka is very popular in the West, thanks to the efforts of the Russian Kennel Club. Even though it simply translates to sheepdog, shepherd, or shepherd dog, making it very unpopular and often insulting among the non-Russian Kavkaz nationals and dog enthusiasts, not only because of the Russian name, but also for the fact that this really isn't a typical sheepdog, since it is neither a herding dog nor a shepherd's companion, but strictly a guardian/protection animal.
Yes.
Boom.
There you go.
Considered a Russian breed, the Caucasian Ovchaka. I don't know how to say it. I don't know. What is this? Is part of the Troika, a threesome of recognized Russian sheepdogs, the other two being the bearded South Russian sheepdog and the somewhat controversial Central Asian shepherd dog.
So what is this one actually like? They're saying. Does it get to the point where they actually say what the Caucasian Shepherd is called?
Okay, well, now they're going to talk a little bit about the history of it. So in order to understand the issues concerning the Caucasian Shepherd dog, a short historic overview is in order. Although its first official Western show ring appearance was in the 1930s in Germany, the Caucasian Shepherd dog has existed since ancient times and, like many Eastern Molosses, was introduced to the bloodlines of many of today's world breeds throughout history. So this is like the Bernese Mountain Dog that we talk about.
Yeah.
You know? Like the Balkans, the Armenian plateau was one of the earliest cradles of civilization, and the first appearance of dogs of this type is closely linked to that area. The Armenian Gampars are seen as a variant of the Caucasian Shepherd dog, and while that may be the case, it is also important to note that the Gampar, G-A-M-P-R, comes in two distinct varieties, both of which are much older than the modern Caucasian and Central Asian sheepdogs. A number of researchers see the Caucasian dogs as being the living link between the sheepdogs of the Balkans and mastiffs of Asia, while some believe that the breed was a result of crossing the mountain Gampiers with a Spitz-type dog in ancient times.
Okay, so...
But these theories, although not without merit, are understandably not very popular.
I'm so confused at what's going on here. So they don't want him called the Caucasian Shepherd because there's multiple dogs in that region that are all Caucasian Shepherds because it's the region that's Caucasian mountains.
Yeah, Caucasus Mountains.
Caucasus Mountains. So, okay. But they don't have a name for these dogs.
I know. It's weird.
Typical Russians.
So we're just going to call them Caucasian Shepherds.
Which is why everybody is.
Yep.
Because there is no other name.
So most blame for the confusion surrounding the Caucasian Shepherd dog should be placed on the Soviet concept, which was famous for erasing facts and rewriting histories of regions under its rule. Russians would never do that.
Why would they do that? It's not that like them.
Yeah.
To rule with an iron fist.
Putin's like rewrote the history on it. He's like, this dog used to be an astronaut dog. You know how I know? I wrote it. Even though it was officially non-nationalist, the Soviet regime was obviously pro-Russian, which was manifested through forcing Russian language and cultural ideas on many non-Russian nations it controlled. That does not sound like Russia, though.
No, it doesn't. But it also sounds like it also doesn't sound like this person is from one of those places that was getting oppressed.
Yeah. This guy's a Ukrainian.
Yeah.
I hate you
from
all.
Crimea.
Yeah, I really do not like you. It should be noted that the Russian introduction to the Kavkaz came in 1859, which goes against the theories claiming the ancient Caucasian Shepherd dog as an indigenous Russian breed. Even Stalin himself wasn't Russian, but a Georgian native. In this respect, the Turks could lay more claim on the breed, seeing how they ruled the region before the Soviets did and are known to have used Caucasian dogs as guardians for their camps and forts as far back as the 1700s. Oh shit, there's a little bit of a... How you doing? The same case could be made for pre-Turkish rulers of the area, but this could turn into a vicious circle of who came first, even further complicating the issue. Politics and nationalism should never mix with dog culture, but unfortunately they do and oftentimes have terrible consequences for the breed. This dude sounds super, like, dejected with the world.
Yeah,
it's almost like you can just hear the vodka bottle just, like, clank on the table as he's writing this.
It is very, very intensely biased towards against the Russians. Yeah,
yep.
But nowhere in there does it say that it's the Russian Shepherd dog. It's the Caucasian Shepherd dog.
That's right.
I don't know.
Anyways, this will probably be the last... Oh, no, we've got 2 more paragraphs. Oh, no, maybe 3. I'm like, no, I don't need to know that. Yes, I do. When Russians started importing Caucasus dogs to Moscow, they separated them into 2 types. The mountain dogs receiving the name Transcaucasian Ovcharka after the Transcaucasus region, consisting of Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan, while the short-haired and lighter-built type steppe dogs were labelled as the Kavkazskaya Sobaka. Because of the immense variation in sizes and temperaments within the 2 official types, the Soviets started a standardized program which resulted in an official standard change in the 1970s. When the Russian Kynological Federation made the decision to promote a single type under the name of Caucasian ovsharka, abandoning their earlier definitions. They agreed that the best type is the Georgian bear type, as supposedly favoured by Stalin. The Russian-favoured Georgian type is actually a hybrid created by crossing the Nagazi and Mount Kazbek variants, both of which still exist in Georgia.
Mm.
There you go.
What it doesn't really say is when they have crossed these things, because it could be hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, it could be.
There's breeds that are within the last 50, 60 years nowadays. So
yeah,
they can be their own breed.
Exactly. I'll read this last one, and it's got, I can see WW2 in there, so maybe that's got something to do with it.
Yep.
The strong influence of some Central Asian bloodlines shouldn't be ignored. Modern incarnation of the Russian show type also has a small percentage of St. Bernard, Sarplananak, Leonberger, Moscow Watchdog, and even Scottish Collie and Tibetan Mastiff. That's what... Oh, you've seen a Tibetan Mastiff.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like a Tibetan Mastiff to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Blood running through its veins. Courtesy of ambitious Soviet breeders trying to create a more agreeable personality, richer coats, and a greater variety of colorings in their ovsharka stock. When the Soviet military was developing the Moscow Watchdog in the post-World War II years, they imported Armenian and Azerbaijan mountain dogs and crossed them with St. Bernards, resulting in an excellent service dog, but also in a demise of certain bloodlines of Caucasian dogs. During the Cold War, the Caucasian Shepherd dog was a breed commonly seen wherever the Soviet army was stationed, including many areas of Central Asia and some parts of Europe, such as East Germany, where they were famously used as patrol dogs guarding the Berlin Wall. Many of these working strains have been crossed with indigenous breeds of these regions over the years, affecting both the native dogs and the co-breed. For instance, in Germany, there was an increase in size and coat length within some lines of the German Shepherd dog, effects of which can still be observed in certain types of the modern German Shepherd dog breed today, but also in some Caucasian ovsharkas on occasion. After the fall of the wall, over 7,000 of these dogs are believed to have been disbanded and left behind, where they were adopted by many German families and dog enthusiasts, becoming one of the building blocks for the modern Caucasian ovsharka, along with the Russian show type. Because military bloodlines come in a variety of colours, sizes and temperaments, they aren't favoured among some modern Russian breeders who are pushing for a single type. The aforementioned bear variant of the Georgian dogs preferred in shades of wolf grey colours. Interesting indeed. Can you go to that 7 things that sort of define them? That would be delicious.
A lot of bizarre stuff going on.
Oh yeah, a lot of bizarre stuff. Hard to keep track of, but that guy's obviously done it.
Yeah.
A
lot of research.
Lady or man has done a lot of research. A lot.
Typical Josh, assuming
always,
it's a man.
yeah, assuming, yeah. Just being a real jerk.
Yeah, real jerk.
God, I'm hungry. Yeah, anyways, we also found this other thing that says 7 things about Caucasian Mountain Shepherd future owner should know. So already they haven't even bothered to put the S on the end of owners.
No.
So
we should not expect much out of this article.
Yeah, do not expect much. Large and in charge, the Caucasian Mountain Shepherd or Caucasian Ovsharka is one big pup you don't want to mess around with. This beautiful breed comes from a long lineage of guard dogs carefully bred with the intent to protect, lead and fight. Standing tall with a thick, rich fur coat and muscular build, it's easy to be impressed by the sight of a Caucasian Ovsharka. You may notice her sticking to her owner's side, loyal as can be, as she silently observes the surrounding area with a calm air of intelligence. Apparently this breed of dog only comes in females.
Yes.
Yeah. At least I'm more acknowledging of genders than this person.
Yeah. They don't even think...
Yeah.
This is a feminist.
Oh, no. Males don't exist. These dogs are known for their loyalty, but don't jump up and run to the next breeder to score your own puppy with dreams of the ultimate guard dog in mind. I feel like I didn't read that properly. These dogs are known for their loyalty, but don't jump up and run to the next breeder to score your own puppy with dreams of the ultimate guard dog in mind. The punctuation in this is just like...
So what they're saying is that they're not potentially the best dog to go and get to be a protection dog or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm assuming they're going to talk about that next.
Probably not for the faint-hearted, and probably not for the first dog owner.
Yes.
This is a breed that takes a whole lot of time, dedication, and training to achieve supreme obedience and manageable behavior. If you don't have much time or space, the Caucasian can be a handful as well as dangerous. Ready to embark on a journey into the world of the Caucasian mountain dog? ? Come with me. Our journey begins in the highlands of Georgia, where it first found its roots. I'm not reading that shit. All right. Number 1. The Caucasian Shepherd dog is well suited for life outdoors.
Yes, that's what they've been bred for, is to be outside in the mountains a lot.
And it says, ferocious beasts ain't got nothing on this dog. It can be found roaming the countryside of Russia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and especially Georgia, its principal region of origin, like we spoke about before. Number 2. If you need a guard dog, the Caucasian Mountain Shepherd is built like a tank. I told you not to expect much from this.
So true. So true, guys.
Are bears terrorizing your sheep? I certainly hope not. Got yourself a wolf problem? ? For livestock farmers across the Caucasus region, these were everyday issues they faced in order to protect their flocks and livelihood. The Caucasian Ovcharka was the coveted solution to solve these problems. In brackets, Kangol is another dog which was bred for such purposes. You've seen those dogs, those big, ugly sons of bitches. Maybe you don't need protection from bears, so to speak, but if you're looking for a protective breed with a strong disposition, the Caucasian could be a solid option. Its skills are prized in Russia, and they are commonly used for military work and to guard prisons. In the 1960s, it was one of the breeds chosen to patrol the Berlin Wall, as we spoke about. A beast of pure muscle and brawn, this dog is huge, standing over 26 inches tall and weighing up to 100 pounds. It resembles a lion with its enormous head and shaggy mane, with deep-set, watchful eyes and ears that are traditionally cropped.
100 pounds is not actually that much.
No,
what
it's
are they
not.
Talking
Yeah,
about?
I think they've got that wrong. I reckon it's 200.
Yeah.
Because it said before, I read somewhere before that these dogs grow to 85 to 90 kilos.
Yeah, exactly.
Big beasts.
Massive.
Which is more around the 200.
Well,
because 220 is 100. 220 pounds.
Arrow's like...
He'd be nearly
85,
100 pounds.
90.
Yeah, so...
They're way bigger than that.
Yeah, so...
Idiots!
This has got it wrong. A
So
thick coat of... Oh, I can't wait for it to talk about the bite pressure thing. A thick coat of long hair covers the entire body, from ears to between the toes. It's weatherproof and insulated, making the Caucasian Ovcharka well adapted to life in extreme outdoor temperatures. The typical colours of a true Caucasian are grey, tan, pied, brindle, and white. How does it compare to other dogs, I hear you say? With a bite PSR of 550 to 700 PSI.
Now, to put that into perspective, 550 to 700, the German Shepherd and the Rottweiler...
Yeah, Rottweiler...
was that, what is under 300?
Rottweiler had 320.
Oh, Rottweiler had 320, which is extraordinarily high. Jeez. And the German Shepherd was under 300.
240.
Yeah, so...
Around 240.
So...
American Pit Bull Terrier was like 235.
Double the bite strength of a bloody Rottweiler.
Mm-hmm. For big ones.
And they have those oversized canines to just like
inflict
little daggers.
Some pain.
Get in there.
Yeah, so add its strong will, fearless nature, and ferocity, and it's safe to say that this dog is the ultimate fighter. Let's see how it stacks up against some other big dog breeds. Caucasian Shepherd versus Tibetan Mastiff. Yeah, so, well, Tibetan Mastiff here, they're saying has a bite force of 500 to 650. Okay, so maybe it's not taking... Maybe that other survey thing we saw wasn't taking into account these dogs. Yep, Pit Bull. Here you go, American Pit Bull Terrier with a bite force of 235.
Yeah, that was correct.
Yep, Rottweiler, 328, which is pretty accurate to what we said before. I think it was like 320. I think it should say... No, it doesn't say against German Shepherd, but we know German Shepherd was 240. 3. We're back on the things to look out for. If
Holy
you're
hell,
one.
though.
Yeah, I know.
Wait.
Holy moly. Nice. Very good, big guy. It might not be the best choice for a family with kids.
Yeah.
It might use one as a tasty snack.
So true.
You just walk out in the kitchen one day and he's like just lathering Vegemite on your child's head. I'm just going to eat this. Kid's like, I'm a biscuit. Number 4. There are a few common health problems to be aware of with the Caucasian Shepherd dog. There are always going to be some health problems with any dog breed. The same goes for the Caucasian Mountain Shepherd. Overall, this breed comes from strong stock with a strong lifespan of 10 to 12 years. Shit. That's a lot of food.
For such a huge dog.
It would have huge shits.
Oh, God.
Some of the problems that it does encounter in the breed is hip dysplasia, cataracts, and obesity. They can turn into big fat bastards. Yeah. Number 5, don't forget about grooming. Bring on the hair and drool. So they're droolers.
Oh, yummy.
They don't really strike me as... When you look at it, I'm looking at a photo of it now, and there would be a shitload of hair.
Yeah.
You could make pillows out of it.
Yeah.
You know, on the side.
Yeah.
Of all the hair that you're going to lose from this dog. Like, it needs that double thick coat for those winter times in the regions that it was in. But drooling, I guess so. Somebody probably knows. 6. So you're all in and ready to own a Caucasian. That doesn't make sense.
You're ready to own.
You're all in and ready to own a Caucasian puppy of Shaka. This guy's on the pipe.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyways, so you've made it this far through our informative guide about the fluffy and sometimes ferocious Caucasian mountain dog. The excessive fur and intimidating guard dog persona have not dissuaded you from your love of the breed. You're ready to find a breeder and bring home a puppy that looks more like a teddy bear than anything else. Be prepared to spend $1,500 to $2,000 US. Where's number 7 then? Here it is. You can also adopt Caucasian mountain dogs. How's that something I need to know about?
God.
Yeah, this was shit.
Nope.
Take that back.
Nope.
Take that back.
Nope.
I know it's not. I know it's not your fault. I found it. I was like, this'll do.
Yeah, but I mean, what I've seen of them, and what I would like to do is maybe we'll get Mariella on one time when the dog's like
big.
Yeah, as it gets older, it takes them about 3 years because I went to where they were breeding them and stuff, and it takes them about 3 years to fully mature. And they
where are they breeding them? Just curiously,
the Melbourne region.
Okay,
yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly, but the Melbourne region. I wouldn't probably want one of these dogs if I was up north where you don't get the cold weather.
Nah,
it just wouldn't
be
cope
way
very
too
well.
much hair.
Yeah, I don't know if it would cope well with that. I don't know. Honestly,
I
don't know.
just don't think I'd want one flat strap because a dog that size, like some Dobermans and some Rottweilers can be like real protective and real guardy of like you or your house or something, and they'll really hurt someone if someone comes across even a Malinois or Arrow.
Yeah.
Shepherd.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one of these things, like, that can grow to nearly 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that, like, chomping on, the kids hit the neighbours' kids hit the cricket ball over the fence, and then they're like, I'll get it! Dog's there just putting Vegemite on his kid's head. I'm a biscuit. That's great, Timmy. Can you throw the ball back?
There's like some kids that live in the house next to us, and the ball comes over the fence every once in a while. And one time, Arrow just went and popped it. The kids would have been like, "Oh man!"
And he
throw it back over, popped.
You are the Grinch.
They probably thought I just took it, popped it, and threw it back over.
Mate, do you know how devastating that would be for a kid? All I ever had when I was a kid was my football.
Yeah.
All I had, and it regularly went.
Well, and you saw how Arrow can pop stuff. Like,
oh man!
Like he grabbed
full on punctured that punching bag. I was like, this will be funny. Wrong. He was... Holy shit.
Yeah, so it doesn't take him long to poke holes and stuff. So
No.
and that's him. So imagine
Was it a soccer ball?
Yeah, I think it was a soccer ball. Yeah, I think they were playing with it on the trampoline or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, just boop. Oh,
Big Kahuna's like, here you go.
Send it back over. I was wondering.
God damn it, that's the 13th one.
I think
it's 13, kids. Use the Queen's English.
Thinking back,
or get the fuck out.
Thinking back, I think the kids did maybe think it was me who did it, because after that they weren't as openly friendly.
You mean they started flinging shit over the fence? Their own shit?
Yeah.
Shit.
So
dude.
that was that. But anyway.
Anyways.
Oh.
So what do we covered up on this episode? It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has been a wild ride.
It's been a wild ride.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. We talked about...
We talked about
the drive stuff.
Drives and confused the whole people about that.
Yeah. Whole people.
Yeah. We confused the whole people. We confused the whole country's people. The entire country of like Lithuania is just there like scratching their heads like,
what is play drive?
Is it sort of like Play-Doh? I don't even know if that's how they speak. Pissed off a heap of Russians.
Oh, I'm thinking potentially we made some angry Russians.
Yeah, you just see this like red dot like on the side of my
They're probably
head.
not allowed to listen to podcasts over in
Probably
Russia,
not.
though.
Yeah. It's probably not a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you guys are listening, I didn't mean it. You're going to die painfully. Little bit by little bit.
But if you have any questions about any of the stuff we spoke about today,
Yeah, fire in some more questions because
because
we need to get back on Big Kahuna's mailbag in the next
we haven't
next
had much
episode.
of a presence on
Not a huge presence, but
so we need to.
if you've
We
made
need
it
to
this
back.
far in the episode, we thank you very, very much for putting up with us today, especially me. You've been good, Big Kahuna.
I haven't been great.
You've
but,
been fantastic.
You know, it happens. You know, this
But,
is how it goes.
Yeah, we actually had a really nice review from someone. It was sort of anonymous on the iTunes thing.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, if you guys could keep
Popping up
your reviews and
review on there and subscribe.
let us know where you're from, because we have been known to dish out Lego monster trucks, which Coach Jono from...
You never know if it's going to be a Lego monster truck or a real one, though. So
Yeah, you don't know,
Could be.
because I know a dealer.
yeah.
Yep. Ba-da-ba-ba-doo. He could be the proud owner.
What the hell was that?
Good luck getting it roadworthy.
Ba-da-ba-ba-doo.
Good luck getting it registered. But yeah.
But that's standard stuff in America, so we could,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, shit.
most of their cars are like monster
Who
trucks
knows?
over
It
here.
could be. But yeah, so feel free to, well, if you could, give us a 5-star review and
They're like,
and
I was about to, but after this episode, you get nothing.
I get nothing. I'm taking your stars down. Yep. But anyways, that is episode 13, as it was, with the Big Kahuna and me. We're glad to be back. I'm sorry that I missed for a week, and it's good to be annoying everybody again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you got on for the rest of the week, big guy?
Just work, and more work.
Work.
Yeah.
Twag.
Are we
You know that
twerking now?
I'm going to go have a lie down.
Twerk. Yes. You know that's not the words, right?
Work.
Yeah, that's better.
I nailed that, though. Yeah. Anyways, we'll be back next week with either a famous dogs throughout history or just a standard episode 14. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't.
That's the beauty of Mystery Box, Dog Ugly Dudes, Talking Dogs. We never really prepare for anything, and
No.
it's not evident at all.
No,
So
never.
you guys take it easy. Have a good week. Thanks for listening if you did. And yeah, hit us up. Facebook or Instagram. You be beautiful and stay that way. You dirty dogs.